So now let's focus on these areas here, the area labeled today and tomorrow. They provide a timetable, schedule, job details, and route for what's ahead of you for the day. We see that we have 3 jobs and 4 reminders, and we can dive into any level of detail. It's customary to start your day out in the morning by studying the timetable and some of the other information here to see what's ahead of you for the day and to plan accordingly. At the end of the day, you might want to look at the tomorrow area, at the timetable and schedule for the coming day, to see if you need to plan for anything. By consulting the today area in the morning and the tomorrow in the evening, you get a very good idea of all the short-term requirements of your business. Okay, so let's focus on today. We see some overview information. We have 3 jobs for almost $400 today. And if we click through the options using this little arrow, we see that we have a total of 6 hours booked, that Joe has 4 hours of work, Bob has 2, Brian has 2, Dan has 2, Donna has 2, and we see that we have 4 reminders. No customer action items, 2 lead action items, no customer follow-ups, 2 job follow-ups. Okay, so that's not a lot of detail, it's just a quick overview. To get some detail, we open the timetable. So we get a jobs timetable, and we have a reminders timetable that has action items and follow-ups. So we see that we have 3 jobs scheduled, and we have all the detail for these jobs in a table format. A lot of these columns are clickable, so if it's blue, it's a link. So if we click on the ID column, we get the job form popping up with all the information about the job. If we click on the what column, we get just the line items for that job popping up. This shows you all the details about the work that needs to be done. We have the scheduled time. If we click on who, all the customer data becomes visible in the customer form that pops up. And in the where column, we get a map. And we get contact information as well. We have the phone number and email of the customer, any supplies that might be needed, especially for the job, the amount that we're going to bill, and the workers that are responsible for doing the job. We can print the job by clicking on the print icon. It brings up the print dialog for your browser. And we can also text this information to your workers. So if you click on text to workers, and select who you want to text to, it'll create a text with all of the information summarized for that worker's responsibilities for the day. So the message that he will receive is all the contact information and scheduling details for the job that he's been assigned. Typically, there's no need to modify this at all. You just send it as is, since it has everything necessary to inform your worker of his responsibilities for the day. So the bottom half of the timetable has all the reminders, the action items, and follow-ups. It's also in a table format, much like above, and works in the same fashion. Some of the columns have clickable links. So if we want to find out more about this lead action item, we can click on the ID number, and that lead pops up, and we can consult the action items in the lead to see which one we need to address. We see when the action item is due. If we click in the who column, the lead information pops up, and we see who's responsible for doing this action item. The action item may have a category associated with it and some sort of detail. This table can also be printed out by clicking on the print icon, and the table shows everything that's due today. If you want to see anything that's overdue from previous days, you can click this, and we see everything that is past due as well. Okay, so I'll close this, and we see also in the today area that we can jump to the schedule. So this opens up the schedule for today, and we see everything on the schedule that needs to be done today. If we want, we can jump to a day view to see only today's work. We also have job details. So we click on this, we go to the job tabular view with only today's jobs listed. If we want to expand this to see all jobs, we click Show All Jobs, and it restores the job tabular view to all of the jobs. And finally, we have the route view. So this will display a map with the locations of all the jobs for today. So we can see graphically where everything is, and we see a best path that's been calculated for traveling between them, with directions given below. The suggested route gives a quick summary of the job with the customer name, the scheduled time, address, and the travel time and distance between the jobs. And there's a timeline view at the right that gives the same information in a perhaps more visually pleasing way. So notice that there's a total of 134 miles of driving, or 171 minutes. It's a lot of driving for one day. Sometimes if you reschedule one more jobs, you can get less driving time. And that's what this button up here is about, Show Optimized Job Route. So if we choose this, it'll recalculate a route based on having the flexibility to change your schedule. So it will resequence your jobs, and that might require that you call one or more of your customers to reschedule. But it might be worth it. In this case, we would have saved about an hour of driving. Okay. So this today area that we just covered, tomorrow works exactly the same way, so we won't go into any detail about this. Of course, it just uses the data for tomorrow's work instead of today's.